1 year ago, in September 2020, there was a day and night difference between the low-rise and the high-rise market. The low-rise market was thriving with the sales up more than 40% and average prices up more than 10% compared to 2019. On the other hand, the high-rise market was struggling. The number of active condo listings in downtown Toronto were 215% higher than 2019. Numerous investors wanted to get rid of their units because they thought that people would move away from downtown and live in the suburbs. This was my take on the market at that time.
Number 1. Desire versus affordability. Most people interpret the difference between the low-rise and the high-rise market this way. People are stuck at home and they want more spaces. As a result, the housing trend is shifting from condos to detached homes. I actually have a very different view. People want more space. Sure, I agree, but shifting from condos to detached homes. We are not talking about shifting from Civic to Corolla. It would be like shifting from Civic to Mercedes-Benz. You see, we are talking about two products with completely different price point. I see some articles saying that the low interest rate is making detached homes more affordable. When we are talking about a $600,000 price difference, I really can't see how interest rate would play a major role in affordability. It is basically like saying the Civic market is really struggling because most people are shifting to Mercedes-Benz for a more comfortable ride. Does that make sense to you? Back to the condo market. 80% of the investors are short-sighted and can only see the immediate pain. Only 20% will be able to see into the longer-term potentials. Some people in the 20% will see the next few months as an opportunity to pick up some deals. People around you would probably think you are crazy. That's okay. I mean, 80% of the people around you are just average, right?
The latest report by RE/MAX Canada says, affordability shifts demand for condominiums into high gear in 2021. Staggering gains in detached housing values have sent condo sales soaring throughout the first 8 months of 2021 in the major Canadian real estate market. So it is not just a trend in Toronto, but across Canada. Let me share some numbers with you on the 5 major markets in Canada. We will start on the West Coast. Calgary. Condo sales up 82.6% in 2021. Average price up 3% to just over $260,000. Condo sales only represent 14.2% of the total residential sales. You see, prices are still very cheap in Calgary, so the low-rise market is still dominant. What about in Vancouver? Condo sales were up 87.2%. Average price was up 6.7% to just over $740,000. That's almost 3 times more expensive than Calgary. And condo sales made up almost 50% of the total residential sales in Vancouver because the low-rise market is so expensive. Now, let's take a look at the East Coast. Halifax. Condo sales up 35.9%. Average price up 29.8% to almost $400,000. And condo sales represent only 17.3% of the total residential sales. Ottawa. Condo sales up 28.9%. Average price up 17.5% to just over $420,000. And condo sales represent almost a quarter of the total sales. Finally, the Greater Toronto Area. Condo sales up 71.1%. Average price up 7.5% to around $688,000. What percentage of the total sales do you think are condo sales, 34.5%. It is still relatively low compared to 48.2% in Vancouver. Do you think this percentage is going to increase if prices continue to accelerate? Very likely so. More and more people will be going for condos as low-rise homes become out of reach. Another interesting number to look at is the sales volume. The Greater Toronto Area had more than 30,000 condo sales in the first 8 months of 2021. That's double the volume in Greater Vancouver. Calgary and Ottawa had a few thousand sales each. Halifax only had less than 1,000. These numbers are clearly telling us that Vancouver and Toronto are the most popular cities in Canada. And that's why prices are so high in these two cities, because there is so much demand. You know how they always say more and more people will be moving out of big cities because of affordability issues? The cruel reality is that there is a much bigger number of people who want to come into the big cities. We are expecting an unprecedented number of international students and immigrants, and they all want to be in the big cities for jobs and opportunities. Like we discussed last week, just the GTA alone will be expecting 1.2 million people over the next 10 years. So yes, there will be people moving away from Toronto to smaller surrounding towns. But the number of people coming into Toronto will far exceed them. Unless we suddenly have an abundance of supply, it would make perfect sense to expect a strong condo trend going forward. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you always stay on top of the market. If you like to know about exclusive investment opportunities, you can subscribe to my newsletter at the link below.